and just do them in.
Yeah.
It's very, very Game of Thrones.
Welcome to amorephillyunion, the podcast where we take the good, we take the bad, we take them both, and there you have whatever this season might be. We are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm C.
And I'm E.
And we're actually all in person here today.
Yay! This is nice.
Yeah, we're actually all in the same room. C and E stopped by on the way home from the game tonight, and we figure we can get the recording in and share our thoughts on the last two games and recent Union happenings. So,
While the iron's still hot.
Yeah.
And we're still caffeinated. Thanks, Wawa.
Hey, we're looking for sponsors.
Yep.
This episode of Amorephillyunion brought to you by Wawa.
Still tagging him every chance I get.
Absolutely. So let's get into the housekeeping. E, any updates on the Help Us Help the You challenge?
Yeah, so our Help Us Help the You challenge, our goal to reach 3,000 downloads. And when we do, we're going to make a donation to the Philadelphia Union Foundation, where we are just a hair over 2,900 at 2,902.
Woo!
It was a little bit of a leaner week. We only had 50 downloads, but it's nice to say only 50 compared to last year.
I guess we have to have more Red Bulls fans on.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Just said it to see
Nothing
Paul's
about
face.
you, Mark. Nothing about you.
Nothing personal.
Yeah. Mark is fantastic.
Red Bulls otherwise. Go on.
Anyway, but of particular note, we have a new international download.
Oh.
And it's actually, I feel like it's kind of very appropriate considering various traditions and history surrounding both us, the Union, and our fair city of Philadelphia. Is we got our first download from Sweden.
Nice.
So I don't know how to say welcome in Swedish, but welcome. Our new Swedish listener.
Thank you for the meatballs.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so very much. And as always,
if you want to donate to the Union Foundation yourselves, you can find them on their website, philadelphiaunionfoundation.org. There's a donate button right there. Please lend them a hand. They're always looking for help to make their programs work. Feel free to let them know that we sent you. I'm sure Alyssa may notice that if we somebody might let her know. I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully they're getting a few shekels from us. That would be great. So getting into the last week of games, we actually have two to cover tonight. And first one, continuing the bad news for the Union as they snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in Toronto. 2-1 loss in Toronto. This one, once again, Andrew Rick was in net.
I'm pulling it up here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they went with the 3-back. I think they did.
They started with the 3-back at least.
That's right. Damian Lowe, Jack Elliott, and Jacob Glesnes there in the middle. Bizo out right, Wagner out left, Flock at defensive mid. It was it was almost like dual defensive mids with Bueno and Flock there. And then Gazdag, Ora, and Baribo up top. The newer triangle of death.
It's funny. It's kind of like it's the triangle of death up front, but in the middle it mates up with the triangle of defense, and it's all the cornerstone to the whole thing is Gazdag. Maybe it's like the hourglass of defense or of death.
The dodecahedron of
if you have to use non-Euclidean geometry to explain your strategic lineups,
you might be getting coached by somebody who's thinking way outside the box.
Yeah.
All right, but so this game was interesting because the Union, watching this game, the Union looked pretty solid defensively in the first half, and then got shakier in the second, and obviously that held with the results. So let's talk about the good first. First off, the Union did take the lead in the first half around the 39th minute. Baribo got a goal. I can't remember if that was off a set piece now or what have you. But, Baribo certainly making a statement for why he should have been in the starting 11.
Yes, 100%.
As this was his third goal of the season in however many games he had started for us since Carranza had left. And, he's definitely pointing at, that transfer cost that bring him in was not a mistake, and that while he may have struggled to get in, he's going to take the most of the time that he's here.
Is he a DP?
I don't think he's a DP. I think that was Carranza. Carranza was a young DP.
Gazdag, I think, is a
Gazdag and Ura are both DPs, and I don't know that there's a third one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Baribo looking deadly, staying active up top. The Union went into halftime up 1-0. It looked like they were in control. And then in the second half, I'm trying to remember when there were some subs. Yeah, Bedoya came in the 59th minute with Sullivan. And I don't know that they switched, but because Damian Lowe, when watching the game, Damian Lowe was pushing forward more in the second half. He was kind of moving out of that back three, back five, and he was pushing up into the midfield more. And one thing about Damian Lowe is I know he played defensive midfield for Jamaica. So I was wondering if Curtin may have adjusted it to try to go to a 4-4-2 in the second half, by putting Bedoya on and in place of Bueno, and putting Lowe in at the base of the diamond with Flock and Bedoya, Gazdag at the top, and then Sullivan and Baribo as the forwards. But as soon as that happened, one of the things that was really noticeable in this game is there was a big separation between the defensive core of the Union and the attacking core of the Union. There was like 30 yards separating them. I don't know if it was our defensive midfielder was too far back or what, but there just seemed to be a real disconnect that Toronto started really running through, especially in the second half. Or maybe it was Toronto changed their game plan. It's possible. Because it did lead to, like I said at the beginning, Union did snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here, as while they were up 1-0 in the first half. They lost that in the 74th minute, which was technically scored as an own goal by Jack Elliott, as Toronto played the ball up the field, got it into the box, then did a cross just on the top of the 6-yard box. And in Jack's defense, he was making a defensive play on another player or a Toronto attacker who was making a slide to make a play on this ball. The Toronto player just missed the ball and it went off of Jack and past Rick. Maybe Rick could have done something, but in all honesty, it was a bang, bang, bang kind of play. So an own goal. It's unfortunate for Elliott, but that did tie things up. And then Toronto found the game winner
4 minutes later.
4 minutes later. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just tough. It's just tough when you have those opportunities and the Union just fail to close it out.
Right.
And so, the spiral continued. The Union once again found a way to lose.
But then Elliott did get subbed out. I'm just looking at the lineups here. And
yes,
Donovan came in
in the 83rd.
Wow.
Yeah.
So our Drexel Dragon is now a defensive dragon.
Well, no, we came in and played up top because I think that was where they were really trying to switch to the 4-4-2 and shift Sullivan into the midfield.
Okay.
With Flock then at the base of the diamond, but kind of like tonight, I kind of wonder if they were almost doing a Christmas tree with Gazdag and Sullivan as kind of those attacking midfield positions. So anyway, Union didn't hold on to their lead. Toronto, to their credit, fought back, kept in the game, and found a way to take advantage of the Union breakdown. But I would say that there was a noticeable separation between the attack for the Union and the defense for the Union that gave Toronto more time on the ball than I think Jim would have wanted them to have.
A lot more.
Which is funny because we play that more unpossessing style of play. We do tend to let the other team have possession.
Right, but we don't let them run it down our throat.
Yeah, this is running it down through.
What was our possession at? 30-something%?
37.
Okay, that's a little lopsided.
Yeah, well, almost 38
Yeah.
round up, but yeah. Sorry, I just again audio medium. I was just showing Eric the box score.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which
Not
site?
great.
Which site are you on?
BBC.
BBC covers MLS.
It's
Wow.
Use because I like the way it's laid out.
So between BBC covering MLS and then having like what do you call it? Knockoff vendors hawking their wares outside.
Well,
of the
I don't know if
we're a real team now,
Yes,
man.
I mean I don't know how much it's covering and how much of it is just sort of a feed.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
But still,
Yeah, but still.
It's
take
like
it.
it's like AP covering
Yeah,
stuff, right?
it's kind
Yeah.
of feels like it's pulled in from an API somewhere
Yeah.
or something. But yeah, so
So
yeah,
one,
that's right, API. I know what that is.
So one of the bits of news about the Toronto game was that Quinn Sullivan wasn't allowed to be in the the lineup because of apparently child labor laws in Canada since he's 14.
That kills me.
He wasn't able to be assigned to the 18 or the 20 or however many they're allowed to put on the roster for the game day. So that would have to wait for tonight, this Wednesday. Quinn Sullivan got an opportunity to join the full team as one of the subs as the Union hosted New England and, spoiling 5-1 victory for the Union.
5-1.
Finally breaks.
Why do we say that we're spoiling anything? If you're listening to this, guys, you better come ready. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
Yeah.
go on, Paul.
There's still a chance. I mean, we occasionally get new listeners from other countries. So
Yeah.
Fair.
Right now, there's some guy in Sweden.
they spoiled the game.
I was
for me.
just gonna queue this up and watch it.
Yeah.
I just signed up for this
Well, I'll tell you
Apple
what.
TV thing.
Go ahead and cue it up anyway.
It's worth watching. Because
Oh, yeah.
it was a fun one.
It was a fun
At
one.
least as far as Union fans are.
Yep.
Because we got to see the return of a whole bunch of players that we
Yeah.
haven't seen in a little while. So let's start off with the big one. Blake was back in net.
Oh, thank
Blake
God.
is
Back again.
back again.
I'll tell you this. We were at E and I were at this game, and we sat down in our seats. We got there about 10 minutes late, and I looked over and saw it was Blake. And honestly, there's just like it wasn't an actual physical sigh of relief. It was more coming from my soul. And I mean, no disrespect to Sumla and Rick. I mean, I think they've been trying their best and in some cases doing really great work. But like, oh my god, I was like, look.
It was like reverse Harry Potter Dementor thing. Instead of like life being like pulled out of you, it was
Yeah,
like
no, the
life
life
was
went back
exploding
in,
out. Like,
and it was funny because it may have just tinted my whole view, but it did from that moment on. I mean, feel like
it's gonna be okay.
Well, no, but it felt like maybe, yeah, but also just like it felt like they were playing differently. Now, obviously, I'm looking at it through rose-colored glasses, right?
Sure.
But you even said it later, but I don't want to steal your thing.
What did they say?
You said that they were playing like they were happy
Yes.
and
Having,
confident.
Yes.
Yeah, having fun.
They were
Yeah.
playing like they were having fun.
Yep.
Well, I mean, at that point, they were up 3-0.
Well,
Yeah,
that too.
having-
That was a little bit down the road. Because at this
3-goal
point
lead
it
will,
was
lead will
scoreless,
make
but-
a lot of people smile.
Yeah, but
So Blake was back. Also, Bedoya
Sawyer started. Yep.
which was nice to see.
bless
And
him.
then Martinez was
Good
back.
old Martinez.
oh,
And credit to Bueno, credit to Flock. Let's be honest, a lot of players have stepped up. To varying degrees this
Yeah.
season.
Yes.
Between the young guys stepping up and really performing, Sullivan, I think arguably the most improved player on the team.
Yeah.
But even Flock, Bueno have really shown what they've been learning. But there's a bite to Martinez's play that
Yeah.
they don't bring. There's an attack, there's an aggression in his play when when he's on the field. Even though he's a defensive midfielder, he's always looking to get the ball up the field. He's always looking to find the player.
Yeah.
He's always looking to get upfield. So like I was saying, there was that separation between the defense and the attack in last week's game, or in Toronto, in the game against Toronto. That was not there tonight because Martinez plays in that space in between. And when he's there, Bedoya's also there.
Yeah.
Bedoya's a defense first, but get on the ball, get control, own it, get it up the field kind of player. He's a little more. He's a little more of not a sledgehammer, but he's a very solid. Bedoya is a very solid player on the ball, whereas Martinez is looking to pass. Bedoya is looking to dribble or play shorter passes.
Yeah.
But just having the two of them, and essentially that midfield diamond back to what it was last year when they were playing so well with Martinez at the base, Bedoya outright, Flock out left, and Gazdag up top. It's like they knew where they needed to be. Yeah. They knew where everybody was making runs, and they knew where to try things. Yeah. And then with Ura and Baribo up top, it felt more solid. I don't know the New England lineup. They did mention a number of times in the broadcast that Gil was not there.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was not there.
And it sounded like there were a couple of other injuries or missing players for New England. So they're already struggling this year, and a bit of a confluence of unfortunate incidents for the New England that they're coming in with a depleted lineup, and the Union seemed to be getting back their starting lineup, and the Union decided for once to just put their foot on their throat of their opponents and just
go full throttle,
just do them in.
Yeah.
It's very, very Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I mean, the Union got up.
Wedding of a game.
The Union got up 3-0 in the first half, and it never really seemed like New England challenged them.
I gotta say, being up 3-0 at the half was refreshing.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
Almost as refreshing as the rain.
Yeah,
at that point. Yeah,
we didn't even talk about the rain yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it pretty much held off for most of the first half. Probably about the last 5-10 minutes, it started, and then by right when those last minutes, it was like, we're going to sit it out, we're going to wait for that final whistle, and then we're going to get under the bleachers. Yeah. But it's funny because we met up with friends of ours, Tony and his daughter Sophia, and we were commenting like, this rain is kind of nice. It's not a cold rain. It was a pleasant summer rain. It wasn't coming down too hard yet. It was actually quite refreshing.
So let's go through the first 3 goals for the Union. The first one was off of the set piece. Wagner plays it in, goes to the far side of the goal. Elliott plays it back across, and nobody's there playing defense against Baribo, and he just makes about 3 feet of space between him and all the rest of the defenders, and just he does all the work before the ball gets to him to make the finish look very simple, and he just beats the goalkeeper. Doesn't give him a chance, and Union are up 1-0 for and Baribo gets on the score sheet. The second goal. Who was the second goal?
Second goal was Glesnes's. Was that off that corner kick? The one we kind of missed because we were too busy taking pictures of the clouds?
So, apparently there were clouds.
I did. That was me.
There were clouds rolling in. The Union had just played a set-piece ball in, and it went out for a corner kick. And frustratingly, Apple TV's producers were in the midst of replaying it for the second or third time when the Union actually restarted the play with the corner, with the corner, and Glesnes made a glancing play to put the ball on the far side of the net after making a run to the near post. Very classy finish from a defender for, I think it was his first goal of the season. And the Union were up 2-0, which is great, except for the fact that I was worried did they score too fast, too early,
and having that 2-0 lead, which is, as they say, the hardest to defend.
I will say that the clouds that were rolling in were blue and gold, so it was a good omen. But it looked like a negative omen. I think it was positive.
Yeah. These are the
negative for the New Englanders, I guess.
Yeah. Clouds coming in on the winds of change. I don't know.
Yes.
But then the third goal occurred during the landing of the first half.
44th minute.
44th minute, which...
that was Baribo's second of the night, as Ura basically muscled his way past the defense onto a through ball, where he and Baribo were making a run into the net, or into the attack And it was interesting because I was in the replays. You can see the New England defenders watching Baribo, and Baribo keeps looking like he's going far post, and then the defender looks back at Ora, who's beaten. Now Ora had beaten his defender. He was down on the right side of the box, and as soon as a New England defender looks back and starts concentrating on Ora, that's when Baribo changed his run. And he changed from going to a far post run to a near post run. Ora saw making that play and played a pass to Baribo. And Baribo put just enough power on that ball, put it on frame. The keeper got a hand to it, but it wasn't enough to stop the ball from going in. And Baribo made it 3-0 right before halftime.
Yeah.
That was something to see. That was quite well done.
Yeah. It really felt like, I know you said how you texted about their. I'm not sure, when did you text about their playing?
In the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
But even that, like the end of the first half, it was just these goals are coming, and it's just like they were deliberate, they were intended, like they made the run, they made the pass, they made the cross, somebody was there at the end, and they put it in the net. It was just like, where has this been?
Yeah.
It's like we've been missing it for so long, and like I don't want to totally swing the pendulum in the other direction and be like, we're gonna win it. No, not at all. But just we've been starving for this for so long.
Yeah.
And
well, it was a complete game because we've talked about it. The Union have scored goals this season.
yeah,
I mean, they haven't scored 5 goals, but they've scored goals this season.
Yeah.
But they just, on the defense side, they struggled. And this time, it felt like with Blake back, they were confident on the defensive side, with Martinez just destroying everything in the any attacks that came through the center. They were on it. Now it was going to get it's going to rain sometimes, and it started pouring in the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
And in the first few minutes of the second half, I was doing laundry, so I didn't see the New England goal.
Yeah.
But I did see the replay, and it was a situation where they found a player open outside the box. He made a touch out wide, and before Martinez could close him down, he took a really good shot.
Yeah.
I mean, to finish outside the 18-yard box from the Union's left side of the box and to score it into the right side of the goal, that's an impressive shot. And, I don't know if Blake had any chance at making a play on it, but it seemed like it was destined for the side netting. And
Did he get fingertips on her or no?
I didn't see.
Okay, because it kind of looked like from our angle, but it was, you can't always
We'll have to
trust.
watch some replays of this at some point. But
I was just curious.
fortunately, though, it wasn't the beginning of the end for the Union, as Baribo scored his third to finish his hat trick for the night and reassert the Union's 3-goal lead in the 52nd minute. Just a great pass from Wagner.
Yep.
And Baribo takes one touch into the box, just racing down the field. The New England defenders couldn't close him down, and he beats the keeper.
Yeah.
It's not a 50-50 opportunity for a keeper at that point. You expect professional forwards are going to score that at least 75% of the time, and he does. He scores a goal. It's not an easy goal because he is running flat out, and Baribo routinely is the fastest player on the field, so he's moving quick. So he makes a real nice touch and powers it home with his second touch, which was great.
It was that goal too, right? Because New England scores they get the first goal, their first and only goal in the 50th minute, which I think the New England player, if I'm not mistaken, is John Harkes' kid.
Ian Harkes,
which is
that's right.
It's good to see. And we're up 3-0. New England scored 1 goal, and to be honest, I was having flashbacks to Chicago. I'm like switching the Matrix, like not like this.
No.
Like I just can't do it again. I can't do it again.
That's
and
the
then
second Matrix reference so far. Anyway, go on.
You gotta be happy. At least we're not
Not in this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not doing replacement references. We're really kind of lagging behind. But it was nice. 2 minutes later, we get this goal back. It's like, whew. It's like
I know that really it really I think drove home that we weren't at all watching the same game. I mean, we weren't. We knew that, but I think that really made it obvious.
it is like a PTSD because we've been spinning our wheels at best for like the past 7, 8, 9 games.
Right.
And so even when we have a 3-goal advantage, I'm nervous. And when they pull back one, it's like, oh no. And it's like, okay, 2 minutes later, Baribo, who's having an amazing game. That goal too was a non-trivial goal because he's got a defender on his heel, the keeper's coming out. You still got to have that level-headed disposition when you get, because it was just that nice little arc of a shot kind of into the opposite side of the net, which it was really good.
It hasn't been all that many years since we were
the dark times.
In the dark times, and so I think even for me, even when we were in the good times, there was always a little bit of, and then I got to kind of a plateau of being comfortable.
Yeah.
And now it's been knocked back down, and it kind of feels unsurprising somehow. So this was good. When they got the 4th goal, though, I did start breathing a little bit better.
And it was interesting, the Baribo finishing this hat trick ties him now with Carranza and Ora with 6 goals on the season.
I know. I gotta look at the numbers. How many games has Baribo played?
I don't know.
4?
4? Yeah, right.
I mean, it's only been recently that he's been in, except for a last-minute sub.
Yeah.
His productivity is just amazing. If you just look at the goals per game this guy is generating, it's just. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
he's driven. I mean, I think he's very motivated to make his mark.
And as far as we talked about this last episode was our drink, the Kai Tai, which
still have to work on that.
We were,
that's right.
I did come up with a suggestion for the Kai Tai, and that is one part schnapps, one part Manischewitz.
It was either going to be a lager or a schnapps,
which could actually be quite good. So every time, like either when Baribo scores or Wagner, scores or provides an assist.
So we have to have a Kai Tai and a Tai Kai. Depending on who's doing the scoring.
Yeah, it depends on what you pour in the glass first.
That too.
Yeah. And if you have a George Tai Kai.
So no, it was definitely good to see.
Yeah, I know, sorry.
Sorry, I just got that.
You just got it, okay.
Sorry, Paul.
Oh my.
George Takai is awesome. Anyway, but Baribo's productivity, man, maybe he's the hook, the hook we should be hanging our hat on this season. Like, just put him up front and just let him loose and just.
So long as he keeps producing. Granted, he's got 6 goals this season. 3 of them were tonight. Yeah. I mean, let's keep it in check a little bit.
Wait, we can't count on 3 every single game he plays now? No. Hat tricks.
And it'll also be, how well he pulls Ora and Gazdag into it. Because, teams can reform to beat a single player. Mm-hmm. So if he can now make himself also not continue the scoring, but also make himself dangerous in playing with the others of the Triangle of Death.
Yeah.
Then maybe we've got a replacement now that Carranza's gone.
Yeah, because if he's pulling defenders, that's just going to open the door for Ora to really get his runs.
Yeah.
Get him into the defense.
And before we totally leave that, I do want to just go back to that second goal from Baribo, or the second goal from Baribo. Like, Ora that defender had an armful of Ora. And Ora just bodied off of him and just blew past him.
Yeah.
Ora's had a hard season. I'm not saying that he's amazing and he definitely deserves the money he's making. I mean, obviously he's getting the money he's making. He's he's doing whatever. I'm not slagging on that. It's just he's struggling a bit. He's only got 6 goals, and for the amount of money that he gets paid, people are wondering if it's worth it. Mm-hmm. But man, that guy, when he wants to, he can run.
Yeah.
And when he wants to, he can put his body in between a defender and the ball, and he can shake off defenders. And that was great. So hopefully a good win like this will inspire more confidence, and we'll see more of that type of play. Because in all honesty, I think if Aura really gets rolling and Baribo gets rolling, and then you have Gazdag backing the two of them up,
Yeah.
that is scary.
And then you have even Martinez on that back defense to stop those attacks and immediately, like I said, get the ball upfield. We got this counterattack running now on however many cylinders is an
Maybe.
appropriate amount of cylinders. So
Occasional wild shot on goal.
yeah. But I will say real quick though,
Hey, that one, he had to make a touch there. The keeper had to make that touch when Martinez
did.
took that shot.
Oh,
shot in the
yeah.
first goal.
There
First half.
he wasn't wildly off
No.
frame. No.
and there were a bunch of people taking long shots. Glesnes took a long shot.
Yeah.
Elliott taking that half volley shot
Yeah, man.
off of a repossard
Yeah.
like that was insane. And putting it off the crossbar.
Yeah. But real quick, it was fun watching Aura battle through that defender because he's a physical player, but that's not one of his main
Yes.
strengths. He's
Right.
he's about speed, moving, getting into position quickly, taking a shot, making the pass, whatever. So the fact that this ball was kind of being fed up the field to him, he had to get around his defender. This defender's basically mugging him. And as I was watching this, I'm like, he's going to get pulled down.
Yeah.
But he just kind of
Oh.
muscled through it,
You're right. It's true.
breaks the grasp, breaks the defender's grasp, and just goes after the ball. I'm like, my man, all right.
I
Yeah.
was surprised that because usually there is a, pull down or, attempt to get sympathy from the ref or something at that point.
And
he
he's-
can't go on. And he just went.
And he's not that big of a guy.
Right.
Like, Shabilko is a big dude. I would expect him to break holds off defenders,
Glesnes, good luck holding
Yeah,
him down.
Glesnes, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're trying to stop Glesnes? Oh, that is just so cute. Anyway, it was really cool. It was very cool to see.
So that put it up 4-1.
Actually, before we get to the fifth goal, I know Blake had a couple clutch saves there as well. It was a little nervous making, right? Because one of the New England guys was kind of off to the races, and the ball was kind of bouncing ahead of him towards our end of towards our 18. Blake kind of came out. I know he was able to somehow, I can't remember exactly, he deflected it out, but he didn't get control of the ball, and it was that brief moment of like, oh crap, Blake is too far out. He doesn't have control of the ball. The New England guys getting to the ball, it's like you can't get back in time. And then I think Glesnes was able to get his body in front of it and deflect. I don't know, but it was nice to see like one small little bad. The ball just didn't bounce literally the way it should have in our favor, but everybody quickly got in a position. But it was like a half a beat there. I'm like, oh no, come on, like.
And then Blake also had a good sprawling save in the first half, where he sprawled to his left and
That's right.
deflected the one shot out past. I think they only ended up with like 2 or 3 shots on
Yeah.
frame that Blake had to do anything with. But yeah, Blake. Once again, you could just immediately see the communication. Like he was yelling and talking to his defenders, so they knew where he was, and they knew where he wanted them to be. And it was really good.
I was. There was one little part during it, I got a little nervous with Blake because I remember there was a corner kick down on New England's end of the field. Blake was like, far out of the goal box, but I saw him like kind of doing like leg stretches and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh man, I hope he's. I mean, he may not be at 100%, but I hope this is not like, oh, I'm stretching because whatever ailment is, whatever. What was it?
You're
Whatever
fairly
flap is coming loose, and I'm trying to. But then he started making those clutch saves. I'm like, all right.
I did get nervous every time he went down because I was like, please get back up. But we were good.
So the final goal for the Union did happen around the 80th minute.
Yeah, 84th minute,
84th,
and the
yep.
timing was something else. I'll let Sue talk about that. But we can talk about the goal first.
Talk about the goal first, and then let me talk about the.
Yeah, so there was subs during this game, and Quinn Sullivan came on for Aura, I think it was, because I believe Baribo played the whole game. Quinn Sullivan came on.
Baribo did not play the whole game.
Okay, but at this point, I believe Quinn came on for Aura.
Yes, that's true.
And Bueno came on for Bedoya.
Yeah, Bueno and Bedoya, I think, were kind of a 1-for-1. They seem to be
Yep.
swapping those two a lot.
Yep. And so there was a break up field. Union got the ball out, or actually the ball was a long pass, and it was Sullivan was up top with, I believe at that time it was Baribo, and he kind of got control of it outside the 18-yard box. The New England
Yeah,
defense
he was
kind
a
of,
couple yards outside the 18.
yeah, the New England defense retreated, and he was on, and Quinn was kind of alone about 3-4 yards outside the 18.
Yeah, his defenders gave him
to the
space.
left-hand side. They gave him space, and he got his head up and found a spot and just a laser of a shot hit it far side into the side netting past the goalkeeper. And so on a night where everybody was talking Kevin Sullivan, the one to get a goal was Quinn Sullivan.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was a lot of chants before this, like 10, 15 minutes before, where you hear like little pockets chanting for
Kevin.
"We want Kevin."
Kevin, we want Kevin. Yeah. So that was, it was an amazing sequence because he gets this beautiful goal.
Which was gorgeous goal. It was,
Really,
that's highlight
really,
reel.
truly, like I didn't expect it to work kind of goal, but it did. And
It's actually kind of a Cristiano Ronaldo style.
I mean, and people going nuts, loving it, standing up and clapping for him, to the point where he actually sort of did a little like circle in the middle of the field and was like, kind of
Acknowledging.
clapping back, acknowledging, thank you for clapping for that. And immediately after 85th minute, that's when Baribo went out and Kevin came in.
So
Kevin came in for Baribo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys could see it from your seats, but it was neat because Sullivan was down. They went and celebrated down at the end where the Sons of Ben were, and Kevin was warming up with the group of them.
Yeah.
And apparently, I guess those two must have decided if one of them was going to score, they had this little twin kind of a celebration that they did. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a martial artist bow to
Oh,
the
really?
sun.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's cool.
So that was pretty cool that the two of them did that.
Well, that was very cool. And then when Kevin, so he was clapping to the fans, and then he kind of, is getting ready to take his position again, and then realizes Kevin is coming in, and he starts clapping for his brother coming in, which it was funny because I just, I'm an only child, as I probably mentioned on here. You guys obviously are not, but I always just wonder, like,
Paul, you were adopted.
That's Shh. But I just wonder, like, is it going to be kind of a rivalry? Is it are they happy for each other? How does that work?
Our stupid little brother
both,
can't believe he's got to hang out with me and my
Noel
friends.
and Liam, or are we doing
Exactly. Well, yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking,
Or these property brothers.
Quinn has worked so hard and run up and down that field so much.
Yeah.
And you can hear the Kevin squeals.
Yeah.
And when he came on, the squeals, I mean, it honestly, it sounded like a boy band concert
it
kind of
did.
situation. I mean, there were all kinds of people
Sure,
cheering
but
for
there
him,
was a
but
particular
it was
demographic that
definitely
seemed to be...
You could hear that there, you felt a little bit like you were at,
Yeah, like whatever.
I don't know, current
Nick
boy band.
Dujour was taking the field. No,
Yeah.
sorry, that's from Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh. The cartoon or the movie?
The movie.
Okay.
But yeah, so but it was really cool, to see him like acknowledging his brother. I mean, everybody wasn't clapping; it was Quinn, And then the extra cool part was there was a point where they were able to like do
No. The first time Kevin touched the ball,
yeah,
and the first pass he made in MLS was to his
there you
brother.
go. There you go.
Nice.
And then his brother played him back, and then Kevin played it back to Quinn, and then Quinn played it back to Kevin. And their first sequence of passes on the field in MLS was the brother.
So I mean, it was cool because they were brothers, but it was also
Sullivan.
cool because you could see, they very clearly know how to play together.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, they played a lot in their
very
backyard,
clearly.
you're sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously they did, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a revelation, but it was just so evident to see that was just.
Do you think any of that was the fact that they were up 5-1 at that point, and like New England may have just been packing it in, but I don't honestly think so. I think they really just were playing well together.
I think I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the way they played, I don't know. Though, I mean, the fact that Kevin was in at all, yes.
Yeah.
Because Jim had said that he has to earn his minutes. Like, he's not going to put him in just because people
want him to
be in. But as far as the way they played, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, but it was something to see. It was very cool to see.
No, it was cool to see him and his white hair out there racing around and making himself dangerous.
Yeah.
And you know the team responded to him and they welcomed him, but you know, he's going to have to like you're saying, he's going to have to earn his spot. And, they're cheering for him. They want him to do well. Yeah, but they're not. It's not a given that it's going to be a success for him.
He got a smack on the shoulder and a punch or a little smile from
Allie.
Allie. I was going to say punch on the shoulder, repeating myself, from Allie afterwards. Nice. So to me, that's
it was almost like Allie gave him this look like a stern, like not chastising him, but like, hey man, like what do you do? Something like, and then it's like, oh, I'm just joking, and it gives
that's kind of what it looked like.
Kind of like, I can't believe you didn't score yet in this game. Oh, I'm just joking. It was pretty funny.
That's very much what it looked like.
But it's also worth pointing out that Kevin also set, I guess,
a
sports record.
Yeah.
So he's at 14 years, 293 days old. Oh, he's the youngest player to debut for North American team sport.
I have genes older than him.
And you're not talking DNA.
No. No, the J kind of genes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an exciting way to end this game. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts about after this game, in light of the previous 8 or so games, and where we are in the table?
Thought it was nice that the rain didn't hit you guys that hard in Chester. I know it was.
Well, we moved up.
We did move up a little bit, but
get under the awnings.
Yeah.
But it could have been much worse.
But the lightning and thunder that was happening here in Montgomery County did not hit Chester.
No,
or at least not hit you there in Chester.
As you said, the clouds were parting around us.
Yeah.
So
it did feel like the eye was going over.
Yeah. So. If there was
one. And the Union, remembered that this game is fun. And they can be confident. They can win these games. They can dominate these games. They just have to have some trust. And obviously, I would have loved to have kept a clean sheet.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's still room to improve. But I hope Baribo's play continues. I hope Aura continues to find space and fight for the balls the way he has been. I hope that Martinez stays healthy and continues to shield the defense, and Blake keeps improving. And I'm glad that he's back in net. It feels different when he's there.
It does.
I mean, this is the first time we have fielded that complete a lineup in ages.
Yeah.
That somebody key wasn't really out that I can think of. I mean, unless you count Carranza no longer being with the team, but. Yeah, so I mean that helped a lot too, and I think probably gave a lot of confidence. So it's remarkable, like having Blake back. I don't think Blake saved the game, but I think it's sort of like the human body. One thing goes wrong and it affects all the other systems, and so many things. Yeah. And having him back, I don't think it's single-handed, but I mean I think it gave a lot of confidence that ended up in a win.
Sure.
With the many other factors certainly, but I really think that, the organism is starting to heal.
Yeah, no,
So I don't know I'm not saying we're there yet. I'm not saying that it's #fixed. But I think it's maybe on the way. So.
Yeah, and obviously we're also missing Jack McGlynn and Nathan Harriel.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's true, too.
They weren't around.
Yep.
And so we'll have to see. And, the transfer window opens tomorrow. So I don't expect the Union to make any big splashes, but I'm sure other teams will be. So we'll have to see how that adapts, for moving forward. Yeah. So the Union, they go 1-1 for this week. A loss and a win. So glad to get some more points.
Yeah.
Definitely need to look to get up the standings a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking. Where are we on the table here? This is nice doing such like a just after the game podcast because one, everything is fresh, but two, okay, we're still last. We're second to last. We're second to last.
Well, that's better than it was before.
Yeah, going into this game, we were actually in last place.
Yeah, terrible.
DC is absolutely climbing up the table. They went from 15th to 11th. I mean, I know teams are kind of packed in tight point-wise, so every win does have a big effect. So let's just get some more wins.
Yep.
We are still mathematically able to get into the playoffs. Because look, right now, the cutoff is 27 points.
Yeah.
Montreal has 27 points. We're second to last with 24 points.
Yep. There's not a whole lot separating them from the playoff positions.
So we can still do this, guys, and all we got to do is get into the playoffs. You know, I mean, in some respect, the Union played better as we do better when we have uphill battles to a certain degree. You know, we can't ever do anything the easy way.
Well, I don't know. They won the Supporters Shield was pretty nice. So
Yeah.
But with that said, there are 10 games left in this season, 5 at home and 5 away.
I'm just laughing because it only took a pandemic for us to get a supporter shield. But
Yeah, well,
Hey, whatever it takes.
held in freeze over, and we got some silverware.
That's
Okay.
true. It's true. No, it's just funny because the easy just made me laugh.
So I think we pretty well covered all of the Union news this week, with
Yeah.
Blake getting healthy, Cavan getting
Yeah.
getting his chance to start here in Philly, Bedoya getting back. I don't think there was any other Union-specific news.
Well,
right?
the one thing I will say about this game is I do want to attribute this win to the breaking of the Union Yards curse.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
true.
is because our friend Tony, who was at the game, has never been to Union Yards. And they got down there early, and we're on the way down. He sends a picture. He's in Union Yards, enjoying a beer. And what happens? We win the game. So I think Tony's got to go to every game now.
So
and,
thank you, Tony.
and
Thank you,
buy a
Tony.
beer. So maybe we need to. We got to crowd fund this.
Yeah.
And yes, we want to support the Philadelphia Union Foundation, but we also need to get like some beer money for Tony. So and we got to buy him a ticket and get him some beer money. That's the least we can do, and then we just keep winning. So
So if you want to help organize that, pod at amorephillyunion.com.
we'll get Tony's Venmo set up, and you can just start.
Doesn't
doing-
have to come through us.
Yeah. We'll take ourselves out of the loop
Little
here.
GoFundMe.
Looking ahead to the schedule, the Union only have one game left before Leagues Cup play begins.
Okay.
They've got a game this Saturday, MLS regular season game against Nashville. Saturday, it actually is a 6:30 start. So
Is it here in Philly? Or
it's
is it?
here in Philly.
Oh,
Must be
okay.
some Apple tomfoolery.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, Nashville's coming to town. It's a game that hopefully will be competitive. Nashville playing away, Union playing at home. Hopefully the Union can show well.
This could be a big game because Nashville's sitting right now. Now this is live standings. Nashville's sitting with 26 points. We have 24. Nashville's in 10.
We could jump them.
We could jump ahead of them. So hopefully we ride the Kai Tai wave, and let's because
Yeah.
that would be awesome. The Kai Tai wave. I don't know.
Lord.
But
I don't hate it.
at least it's a short turnaround. They don't have much time to overthink this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
As today's Wednesday and game is on Saturday.
And it gives the ground crews only 3 days to fix that turf,
field.
man. It got punished tonight.
Yeah. Somebody went sliding and it
Tore it up pretty good.
Yeah, it looked pretty rough. So
Well, I mean, it has been very dry for a while,
Yeah.
and then we get some rain. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So they've got Nashville this weekend, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week. But they've got Charlotte and Cruz Azul in the first part of the Leagues Cup.
And when does Leagues Cup start again?
The 27th is their first game.
27th is the first game. Okay.
Yeah.
So this year they're competing with the Olympics instead of Women's World Cup.
Instead of what?
Women's
Oh,
World.
Women's World Cup.
like it was last year.
So we'll have to see what the Union can do. Hopeful.
Yeah.
Hope springs eternal.
I mean, hopefully this 5-1 win just reminds us, the team, right, that we can play well. I mean, that's the frustrating thing. I mean, I know we've had lineup issues, people are out, and all that, and I do agree. All these players come in. Rick,
Semla.
Zemla, Rafa, right? All these guys coming in. They're improving 100%. Unfortunately, they're not improving enough that we can win games necessarily, but they are improving. Having the the squad back. You know, hopefully that just galvanizes our efforts and we just start winning. You know, I was very happy with this 5-1 win. I'm hopeful we could still turn this around. You know, for me now, a winning season is we get into the playoffs. You know,
A successful season would be that.
Successful.
the regular season is getting into the playoffs. Because at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh man, we should absolutely try to finish top of our league. Don't think that's going to happen. But I definitely want to at least solidly get into the playoffs. I want us to be able to get into the playoffs under our own power. Like, I don't want to be on that last game. We got to win. This team's got to lose. Like, let's just get in on our own.
I would prefer not to be in the play-in game into playoffs, if possible. Get into that 8th and above.
I agree.
Obviously, if we could get into the top 4 and guarantee a home game, that would be great.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think we might be a little beyond that.
Yeah.
But if we could get into that 5th or 6th spot and play, you know, 3rd or 4th finishing team in the East, that would be a fantastic result at this point of the season.
Ecstatic.
But I think you're right. I think a successful season would be making the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
Anything else from any of you?
No.
That's it.
All right. So you can find us at our website, amorephillyunion.com. Please reach out with any emails. You can get the email address is pod@amorephillyunion.com. On X, we are amorephillyu. On Instagram, YouTube, and Threads, we are amorephillyunion. You can find our Spotify song playlist under amorephillyunion with the note symbol or something.
And it also does say playlist at the end of it.
Does say playlist.
So you can figure it out, guys.
I think it's amorephillyunion, the soundtrack.
Correct.
There you go.
I should
Because
probably change that. Yeah, I like that better.
because you can find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Apple and all the others.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone for tuning in for another episode of
Live
More
episode.
Philly. We are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm C.
And I'm E.
Go Union!
It's so nice to do it in person, and we're
I
all
was
in
actually
sync.
trying to take your hand so
I didn't know,
like
The
I don't know,
PPP.
it's like an old beer hall kind of thing. Like, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ziggy zaggy, ziggy zaggy.
Oi, oi, oi.